Hey everybody. Um, so everybody's talking about this coronavirus, and I really don't want to talk about it because it's kind of, a little much, and talking about it really upsets a lot of people, and it gets everybody nervous and scared and stuff. But I kind of want to bring the attention of how it's like making us feel, more so of I'll put it this way. So a lot of people I know, they have issues when they're by themselves, and their brain kind of does not want to shut off, and a lot of things that they're upset about kind of just like play over and over and over again, especially when they're by themselves, or in the car driving to work for 45 minutes. That's one of mine. And if I don't play music, then all the bad things that I've ever thought about just happen to pop up and come to visit, and it's really hard for me personally to stop them. So for instance, yesterday, I have a 45-minute drive to work, and I'm a nurse, so I don't really get to stay home, which is fine. I do love what I do, and I'm happy to be where I am right now. But I have a problem sometimes where if I'm alone, or it's quiet and I'm by myself, my mind tends to drift into the most darkest parts of my memories, and it's hard for me to kind of come back and be like, no, we're okay, there's nothing wrong, that was a long time ago, or whatever the situation is. So a lot of times, and if you're triggered by anything, or if you're easily upset by certain topics, I'll warn you now. Sorry, I have to adjust. Just to kind of maybe not watch all of this, just because I've gone through some serious stuff, and I've seen a lot of serious things, and I do want to share them. I do. I haven't gone through the worst. There are people out there who've gone through way more than I have, and I'm very blessed to be where I am right now. I'm very happy with my life, but I have gone through some stuff. So, for instance, a lot of times, not just the other day or yesterday, a lot of times, I will be driving, or I'm laying in bed even, and I'm by myself, and it's quiet, or even in the shower. A lot of times in the shower too, because I'm secluded. I'm not really thinking of anything. I'm by myself. There's no distractions. And I will have the image of, or the memory, I should say, of my father when I found him on the floor after he had a heart attack. So that feels like it just happened. Now, mind you, my dad died in May of 2019. So it's almost a year. It's closer to being a year than it's not a year, which is crazy to me. But yeah, so I have that pop into my head very frequently, and I start to panic. And it's very hard for me to kind of just be like, okay, we're okay. It didn't just happen. That was a long time ago, or whatever. I try to tell myself to relax and not have a panic attack, which sometimes I do, and it just has to excuse me, it has to just kind of play its course. But I've noticed, stemming from that, a lot of people with this coronavirus, they're panicking, and they're feeling unsafe and all that. And I just want to explain that, it is normal to feel that way right now, and it's totally everybody's going through it. But we just have to take the right precautions. And it could be being afraid of coronavirus, or it can be thinking of a memory that, whatever the case is anxiety. And it's super important, if you don't have anxiety, to understand if someone might and how to like cope with that. But for us who do have anxiety, who do have depression, who do have some type of mental thing that they're not completely happy with, it's important to, first of all, do the research. It's not something that you're going to know what to do right away, or, I'm still learning every day about things I feel and how to cope. And I personally have a therapist now who's wonderful, and I was so against it before because I'm like, well, I don't want to explain my problems to anybody. But it turned out that she's exactly what I needed. 1 day a week to talk to for an hour. It makes a big difference. But personally, with my situation, especially with this coronavirus, I'm always worried, of course, for my family and stuff. But for us who have a little more anxiety about it, it's just best for us and you out there to stay calm. If you're doing the best you can and you're like being protected and all that stuff, and you're taking the proper precautions, then you should be okay. It's not a matter of, well, I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to, I don't want to be secluded. I don't want to do this. Well, no, it's not. We don't want to live in fear. But right now, this is what we kind of have to do. We have to protect ourselves. And this will be a memory again. In however long it takes, it'll be a memory. And we won't have to do this forever. But physically, just keeping ourselves distant and just, using our masks if you're around people that are sick or whatever the case may be. That's what we're doing at work. I have to wear a mask every day. I have to put on gloves, I have to just do what I got to do when I'm with patients. And that's just, it is what it is right now. That's what we have to do. And if I'm having an anxiety attack at work, I have to take a minute. I have to go to the bathroom, or if I have to go into the storage closet or whatever the case may be, take a breath, relax, count, do whatever I have to do to get through the day. And that's with anything. I mean, if I have a memory that pops up in my head, I have to do that, especially if I'm by myself in the car and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and there's no one to call. Then I have to put on music. I have to just listen to something. I have to distract myself. I have to pray, which I do. I'm a big prayer. I pray every single morning that this day is going to be okay. This day is going to work out just fine. That everybody I love is safe and protected. And it makes me feel better after a prayer. And not everybody does, which is perfectly fine. But that's just one of those things where I feel content after doing. And I think it's beneficial if, you just find your niche, you find exactly what works during these stressful times, during the times where you feel scared and, you're unsure of what to do. It's important, it's really important to stay calm, because we're doing what we're doing. We're getting through the days. It's every day that we spend home, every day that we're quarantined, every day that nurses and doctors and healthcare professionals, they go to work, is one day closer to this being over. And that's extremely important to remember. Just to be safe, anybody who is immunocompromised or who has COPD or things like that, they just need a little bit extra care and protection. And there's so many people that are out there that need, just to be protected a little bit more, but it's going to be okay. I talk to people that are very nervous about this, and, they get very upset about it, and it's normal. It is. It's kind of just another thing that I add on to my list of worries and, whatever things I feel, but I'm more, what should I say? I'm more aware of the situation than people who are just feeling like, oh, this is not a big deal and all that stuff. Because it is, But anyway, this kind of was a transition into reality and, you know, mental illness and all that stuff. It's a big mixture, but I think it's important to, especially if you have someone who is in your life who's going through something like this and you're really not sure how they're feeling, it doesn't hurt to kind of look up, you know, what they're going through, or maybe ask them. It's so important to ask somebody, because me personally, I love to be asked, like, oh, you know, is there anything I can do? What would you want me to do next time? Like my boyfriend, he comes up with these things to help me when I'm going through a situation, and it's so helpful. And everybody's different, so I can't tell you, you know, do this, do that. You have to always find your own. But with this pandemic and with, you know, anxiety attacks and panic attacks and all these things that are happening more often because we're just so concerned and worried, I think it's very, very beneficial to all of us to find something that kind of helps us relax and get through the days. Because, you know, you can go stir crazy being home all day. I don't know what that is. Because I still have to go to work. So I'm just saying, for those who have to stay home, find what it is that helps you get through the day. It's very important just to get through the day. And you will get through the day. That's the important part. You will. If you're taking the right steps, you'll be fine. And people who are out there with, you know, a little extra need of help for their mind, that doesn't like to relax, such as myself, we have to work a little bit harder into finding that thing that calms us down. Music is my big escape from reality. I find that to be, if I don't have music, then I'm lost. Talking to, you know, friends and family and things like that, and they encourage me, and of course, you know, that's wonderful, and I love that. But if I'm by myself and no one's awake at 6 o'clock in the morning, I find music to be one. And maybe it'll help you. I don't know, but words that I know to sing in a song, rather than just listening to anything and just, you know, whatever, because my mind will still wander if I don't know the words. To sing to it, you know, I'm focused on, oh, the words. So that's just something that helps me. Anyway, this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I just thought, you know, people are home and they're posting things and stuff like that. I figured, why not? I mean, and if you guys ever have any questions, please, I mean, first of all, I've gone through my fair share of things, and if you have any questions about it, you can always ask. I have open ears, and I really care about everybody, because this sucks when we feel this way. And my family, you know, a lot of us, we go through the same thing, and it sucks feeling like you're in a room by yourself, and your mind is racing, and there's nothing that you can do about it, and it really, really sucks. And I hate that feeling personally for myself. And I felt like that for many, many years alone, and like I was weird and I was like strange and all this stuff. And then I learned how many people really do suffer from it, and this epidemic is just making it worse for a lot of us. And I think we kind of just need to focus on self-care. Thank you, therapist of mine. We need to love ourselves, and we need to treat ourselves really great. Otherwise we don't succeed. We don't feel better. We don't act right. We need to just really be kind to ourselves. And I love that, because I was not. I was very like, what's wrong with you, Jen? Why are you feeling like this? Why? Stop. And I was so mean to myself. You gotta be, and I'll go into that a little bit deeper in another video, because that's extremely important, and that was like a revelation of mine, being mean to myself. But I will absolutely go into that deeper, because that's extremely important to me, and I think it is for a lot of us. But just be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with respect, and treat yourself kindly, because without your mind and without your true, like, just being sane, nothing else is gonna work. Nothing else. So that's my little video of the day. Take it with what you want. just figured, it was an opportunity to talk to you guys. And if you do want to reach out, share stories, anything like that, please feel free. I'm always willing to hear what you got to say. And suggestions, please. I mean, if you want to hear any suggestions about what I should talk about or what I should say or what I should do, I'm open ears. I love sharing. I do. And I never used to be like that, but I do. I love sharing because if it helps at least one person, I'm good. Stay safe. Stay alert. Stay home if you can. But most importantly, be kind to yourself. And really, really understand that you're not alone. Even though you're maybe home alone, you're not alone. Until the next time.